G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and this is the Nano X, talk about superpower name, Nano X filter set from K&F Concepts. This is exciting. And yes, it can even turn my studio lights on. It can't really. This is the case that it comes in. It is quite durable. It's a canvas case, really nice finish. You can drop this and throw it around without any fear of damaging what's inside. Has a magnetic flap at the front that covers over the zip. Not sure the need for this, to be honest. Has a Velcro strap that you can put it on your belt, on your gear, tuck it away in your bag, however it suits you, and also has a ring pull here so you can dangle it or attach it to something so it can hang out in the breeze but be quite safe. So we pull up the magnetic clip. It's not a strong magnet, that, just nice and gentle, but probably a nod to what's inside. If we unzip it, we will see a nice little container and compartments for the filters. In this particular set you get four. You get a magnetic ring to put on your camera lens to ensure that the rest of the filter set will hold. You have a UV filter, a CPL filter, and a 10 stopper. And we're going to go outside and make sure they work and see the effect we can have. We're going to take a busy scene and see if we can reduce all the people and all the cars out of it and get a cracker of a result using a CPL in the rain so it comes up. Mwah. Now, just before we head out, let me show you how this works. This is an 82mm. You can get it in a variety of sizes, and you screw this on really gently. Now this, you don't want to lose this, bend this, or dent this, because that will really just not work and be frustrating for you. But you put it on really gently and you just wait for it to hold. Don't do them up too tight. Many a photographer have had a lens ring attached to the camera lens for the rest of their lives because they've done it up too tight. So you want to just do it up firmly, and then you can just unscrew. It's like firmly. Don't do it like I'm just going like fairy jazz hands. Yeah, just nice, but you can easily undo it afterwards. You have a few different options with this setup. You can put on a setup ring, and once the setup ring is on, you can then add your other filters to it. Or you can screw on the UV filter, and that screws on the same as any other filter. Not too tight. Once that's on, you can then add your CPL straight to it, or you can add your 10 stopper to that, or just your 10 stopper underneath. So you can actually use the UV filter as the step up ring, the attachment magnetic ring, or if you don't want a UV filter there, you can just add your step up ring to that. Now if you want an UV filter on all the time, this is the way to do it, right? So just put your UV filter on, leave it all the time, and when you want to adapt it with these different filters, and there's other, this is the 10 stop set, there's other stops that you can get as well, you can just bung them on. Or if you just want to have a CPL, it's easy to just attach or detach. Leave your UV on because your lens cap fits over the top and holds it on there, right? So clever. And likewise, if you don't want a UV filter, which, like me, I'm not a big UV filter, take your UV filter off, shelve it, get out your step-up ring, bung that on, and away you go with the filter set. Now, let's get outside and see what this is all about.
So I went down to the middle of Burleigh and I put my camera on a tripod, set it up, and this is quite a busy street just down here, and so I took a normal photo, and you can see the settings up here. It was 1:250. It was a very bright day. f-stop was 9, ISO at 320. It's on a 27mm from the 24-70 2.8s lens on my Z6, and just picked it up normal and all fine. Then I put the UV filter on. So this next photo is the UV filter, and watch what the difference is. Just pick a part of the photo, any part of the photo, and the question is, does it really change? And I reckon the only change is, you see this tree up here? It gets a little bit darker. The settings are still the same, but it gets a tiny little less hazy. But that's it. And so I've always wondered, are UV lenses even ever necessary? I would love to know which of you uses a UV lens and why. But then we put on the CPL, and the CPL is a circular polarizing filter, and in this case it will get rid of these reflections. So have a look at these reflections. Let's go there. Look at that. Those reflections are gone. So where they were sharp and clear, they're now gone. So CPL filters are wonderful for street photography. You want to get rid of reflections. They're not good if you want to use the reflections from glass, but for reflections from water, from anything like that, yeah, you'll be able to get rid of them with a CPL. Now, here's the point of the process. I then waited until there was a lot of people walking down the street. And if you put the 10 stop filter, it means you have to adjust for 10 stops of light, which means you can put a 20-second exposure on where it was previously a 1/1/25. And I shot a long exposure. When you shoot a long exposure of moving objects, the longer it is, the more chance that those moving objects will disappear, will vanish. And so look at what happened. This is 20-second exposure, and I couldn't actually make it last any longer because it was too bright. So you see already this is blown out. And if we wanted to just chuck a really quick edit on this, you get to see a little bit more in detail on what's happening here. But you can see the people here. So this is 20 seconds, right? People are moving, just they're wandering down the street, 20 seconds, and it's nearly made them all disappear. So we go from this, or let's go from this to this, this to this, and we can even change some of the way that the photo is exposed, so it looks pretty much identical to what it was when it was quite busy. So that's what you can do at 20 seconds. But I wasn't comfortable that 20 seconds was enough of a long exposure experiment to do this. So I went down to the street corner in Burley where there's all these cars going through, and you can see this is just taken on those standard settings up here and set nice and wide. And what happens is there's the walkway here, so a lot of people walking across this walkway, there's a lot of cars here, and there's a lot of cars from here that zoom round to their right. And so what I did is I shot that with 20 seconds, and then I bypassed the UV and I went straight to CPL, and the CPL took out a lot of the reflection in the puddle that was right in front of me, but didn't make a great deal of difference on the rest of it. Let's go to the 10 stopper. We get the 10 stopper and watch what happens. Everything disappears. And so let's just zoom in and we will be able to see this? That all those marks are cars and people moving past. Those two blokes just been waiting there for ages because the lights took just forever to change. And then all these movements are all cars coming past. And so, given the right conditions, and I've got an f-stop of 20 to make that exposure as long as absolutely possible, and my hope was just to get rid of people. These guys, it was a very busy day, and there's only 3-4 people that are clearly evident, and everybody else has just vanished. Now, the challenge you get is when you do this, you get blurry streaks, and so it's not really clean. But if we'd have left that for a long time, we could have actually had it really, really clear. But you'd need to put on more stops. So you'd need a 10 stopper, and then a 6 stopper, and a 3 stopper, and you need to compress. And my pack that I have doesn't enable me to do that. But you'll also notice the colors are still holding. So there's no interesting hues, there's no greens or blues, there's no wacky or funky colors. Oh, that's not as sharp as it should be, is it? Oh, interesting. So the camera was on a tripod, completely still, 49 seconds, but that's blurrier than that. It's only marginally blurry, but an interesting observation, but probably because there was a little bit of wind from the cars coming past and the tripod's going to move a little bit, and it just does that. So overall, pretty impressed that you can use this 10 stopper from K&F to get the results that you want with the long exposures that you are experimenting with to get rid of everything in the scene except everything that's stationary.
So as always, it's up to you to see if this product meets what you need for the price tag that it comes with. I hope this review has been helpful. Thanks K&F Concepts. I really appreciate that we get to work together, and intrigued about all the creative things that you guys are producing that we can as photographers benefit from. If you've got any questions about the filter kit, please let me know. The Nano X. Best name ever for a filter kit. Thanks for watching. See you after you subscribe and like. Bye.
If you see me coming, I'm about to get it started.